Hey guys, it's El Martinez. Earlier this week, I released a podcast episode about a topic that is on the minds of many families right now, which is what do we do about summer break? Now, usually, summer is the season to go out on family vacations and trips, just get away from it all and take a break. But we still are dealing with the coronavirus. We see numbers are rising. Just looking right here, I have some notes. I mean, we've passed over 3 million and over 132,000 deaths. So, I mean, this is a serious discussion that many families are having. And I do want to talk about this and answer some of those questions. And so today I want to talk about, first of all, if you decide to go on a trip, how can you protect yourself and how can you make sure you minimize the impact you have on the community that you are visiting? And then two, want to talk about some ideas for staycations because for many reasons that can be a fantastic solution for families. So first off, let's talk about if you decide to go on a trip, what are some safer options? I'm going to start off with saying think more local and regional with your destinations. We have uh, different restrictions in different states. And so, the logistically, just traveling across several states with different restrictions can be a nightmare. But also, you want to have this option that should something happen, I hope nothing happens, that you can come back home safely, um, get to the resources that you need to. Road trips are popular right now, and understandably so. Not only is flying with kids expensive, but there's some safety concerns. Some parents feel unease with that. So, a lot of popular options I'm seeing right now with road trips are family visits, visiting the relatives. You have a kind of safe space, provided that they've taken precautions, and you also have a place that you have that support network. And this can be a way to connect. I know we've been doing Zoom and video chats and phone calls with us, with our relatives, but we recently had some in laws over, and it was nice in person to see them. Now, of course, your situation, you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of everything, but this can be a fantastic way to connect with your loved ones. The second one is going for a weekend getaway. Now, we live in Raleigh, North Carolina, so we're kind of in a fortunate position. There's a lot of places we can go to within a 2 hour span. So, a weekend getaway can be perfect because we can pack up, grab our things, pick a kind of isolated little spot, unwind, and then come back home without too much trouble. And it's a lot easier to prepare for. And then the last option, if you're thinking of just kind of just need a change of scenery, but you're uncomfortable about staying at a hotel or an Airbnb, then you might want to consider just doing a day trip. And I think one of the popular options that you're going to see are parks. Outdoor spaces can be a great way to one, unwind, two, maybe in certain cases, as long as you maintain social distancing, doing activities with loved ones. Maybe you see your relatives, you meet at the park and you're going hiking, you're going biking, again, keeping that distance. And if needed, you have a mask for those encounters where you can't social distance. So I think those are three options if you're going to do a road trip that can be safer in the sense that one, you're staying local, you're staying nearby, and that you have a safety net in the case with your relatives. Hopefully, they're practicing all the best practices that the CDC recommends to minimize the risk you have with your own family, but then also the community. And then I do want to talk about, I know the beach is a very popular option. And if you could do it in a kind of isolated way where you're not interacting with a ton of people on the beach, that could be the way to go. But I think this might be a great season to get a cabin or a small spot in the woods and, in the mountains, provided that they're open. Again, you got to check on the restrictions, but a way to unwind and unplug and still maintain that social distance and have that change of scenery. So those are just a few ideas and trends that I've been noticing. And then I had a question. I'm switching between screens. But one of the questions was Andy was asking about local safety policies. This is definitely something where you're going to have to research and, yep, pull up the Google. So, the two big keys with any kind of travel you decide to do is plan ahead and be flexible. And so, when I was trying to look around, I found that simply just starting off with the state you're looking in, for example, I put North Carolina, COVID restrictions, coronavirus restrictions. And what it does pull up is the government page that gives you an idea of one, what phase they're in, if they're doing the phase, and then also travel resources pop up. So put the state that you're looking for, the city you're looking for, COVID or coronavirus restrictions, and then travel resources. That has been a way for me to kind of find quickly the main gist of any restrictions that are going on. For example, certain businesses may be closed during certain phases. So you want to be aware of that. And then also call ahead and double check with the businesses. Do a lot of research. I know it's a lot of effort up front, but this is again protecting your family and the community that you're going to be visiting. And then I do want to mention with road trips, there's some safety precautions that you should take when you're on the road. And the first one is make sure you shop and pack your groceries beforehand. Now, you might be able to avoid this if you have family that you're visiting. Maybe you can give them a shopping list and they can grab that for you. But if you're going to go somewhere, instead of going to a ton of grocery stores or different places over there and you're not even sure what their hours are, pack and get everything prepared on your end here. That way you can go there, wipe everything down, put everything in the fridge, and then you're minimizing going into the community and perhaps being exposed or exposing someone. Of course, always bring mask, backups, and then disposable gloves. And disposable gloves are going to be handy, if you want to wipe down wherever you're staying for your own peace of mind, but then also if you're making a gas stop, use disposable gloves when you're at the pump, toss them, and then you're done. And then speaking of breaks, we have two little ones. So I know you can't skip on the bathroom breaks. And then wherever you go to, just make sure that it looks like they've took reasonable precautions before using it. You might have to change to a different rest stop if you feel uncomfortable. And then, of course, even though we're out of town, we want to keep those habits up. Wash your hands regularly and make sure the kids are practicing social distancing properly. So, those are some tips if you decide to go out, but you may decide to go for a staycation. And you might not be aware of this, but I'm a family and finance contributor over at Mint's blog. I recently did a post about 30 activities you can do with the kids to keep them engaged. And some of them were outdoors focused and some of them were indoor focused. But I will include a link. That way you can grab that. But let me share just a few of the activities for them that you could do while you're staying at home. And this is not literally just staying at home. You can have a staycation and enjoy your city. Enjoy, like, for example, parks. That is a fun way to meet up with people. You can have picnics using the curbside pickup option. You can support a local business, and spend the day at the park. Have some games with the kids. That's another idea, family game night. This is something we've been doing and have been loving it. If you're more of a board game, a team-based game that I enjoy is Forbidden Island. You have to work together as a team for everybody to win. And also, if you're looking for an online option, Jackbox is a way that you can play different games. It's a mix of different options that you can play immediately with family at home, but then also invite other families. You would host it on your computer, and then they could use their device to join in on that and participate. So family game night's been popular. If you have a good space like the yard, scavenger or treasure hunts, absolutely fun for the kids. And then I would say if you're getting a lot of deliveries, we've been guilty of that. Amazon boxes is repurpose them and build a fort. It's a fun option with the kids, not only actually building it, but you get to paint it. And if you want to minimize the mess, take it outside. They can enjoy it, go wild. It's something simple that I had personally kind of forgotten about, but a friend had introduced that. And yes, our girls go crazy for stuff like that. So there you have it. I know we can continue having this discussion about the different options, and I do want to continue it. So if you don't mind, leave comments below, questions that you have, and also any ideas you want to swap, because as a community, we grow when we share our best ideas with each other. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care.